moja mabe nyina nyinin kaka student union lay una ne man fendi on the 15th of November nyinliela dismissal letter received. In fact, the other one was on the way going for lectures and decided to communicate to the students. Kaitandi la ko yala dismissal letter you received. So, biring akita lungomenna. Yes, ekomansa yela position ota. But you know, coming amen for initially, lualembe sansang and Uncle Ja Dudu Jai memfo. You know, unless we put the law as the alpha and the omega, and it has to be implemented. So, if you look at student union or constitutional, there is membership. As far as you are enrolled as a university student, you are a member of the student union. And the student union have its operational arms. And the student union have its way of dealing things as well. So, during Ecomansa Findida, I personally engage the leadership to tell them we are fully aware because certain issues, you know, before it goes down to the sub-association, we even filtered it down to the sub-association because any information as the union president and a sitting member at the governing council, I'm always copied. So I told them that I'll protest call and follow for one simple reason, because Yenyul Baile, until our welfare and interests as mandated in UTG Act 1999, Section 4, Tertiary and Higher Education Act 2016, Section 16, all stipulated that the welfare and academic matters of students must not be compromised. And therefore, that is why at that point in time, we request the university authority. On the 17th, Ecomansa wrote to the university management requesting for replacement to avoid obstructing learning process or progress.
I don't want to interrupt, but do you think university nyanta lectural by la water bang replacement also?
That's a multi-million dollar question.
So now let's put it in the timeline. What day were they dismissed? Can you remember the date that they were dismissed?
On the 15th.
On the 15th?
Yeah.
On the 17th, Ecomansa wrote to them.
Yeah. So no, they wrote to the management.
They wrote to the management
and copied the union.
And copied you, requesting a replacement.
But,
because obviously, on the 15th, which means you said one of them was on his way going to lectures. He got his letter to say you are dismissed. So which means that day he did not go for lectures. So on the 15th, he did not teach. On the 16th, he did not teach. And on the 17th, when Ecomansa wrote and said, okay, we need a replacement. Because they must have lost 2 days of lectures already.
Very well. Okay. Very well.
So my point there is,
don't
you think atol nyanda Ecomansa bulala dong ye protest ke? Because university your responsibility is totally janneng ebe lecturer bail inyanda replace la purukaje ko karango kanalo.
Yes,
that was their right to protest. But you stop the protest.
Right to protest is a fundamental right.
Exactly. But you stop
before assembly.
So can we hear him out? His own analogy or genesis perspective.
Yeah,
why he thought.
You will continue. You will continue. No, you will continue.
Unless you allow me to flow.
You will flow.
Hey, hold on,
My brother Kebalong and Coffee.
No, you will flow.
Nasaf.
At that time, it is necessary to stop that strike.
Yes, because the union is the umbrella body. The University of the Gambia Student Union is the umbrella body that is mandated to look into the welfare and interests of the university students, aside of academic, administrative, and other matters related to the students. We are the umbrella body, and we have operational bodies, that is the faculty-based associations.
But there was no statement from you for 3 days.
I will come to that. I will come to that. We had a meeting, an emergency meeting. In fact, that was the same day.
17th?
Yeah.
Okay.
When, in fact, we received a copy from Ecomansa requesting for replacement. So we had a meeting and agreed as executive council members that we would write to put it to management that the examination, we are in the eve of examination. If you know university calendar. End of lectures was November 30th. Lectures should complete by the end of 30th. Now it's revision week. Okay. We also wrote, they wrote on the 17th. We wrote on the 18th.
Ecomansa wrote on the 17th.
Yeah.
You wrote on the 18th.
To complement their email
letter.
that, to the Vice Chancellor, we are asking you or requesting you to replace these 2 lecturers as soon as possible. And we make it clear, failure to do so, the ramification of it will not be responsible for it. We made it clear.
Where is that letter?
I will supply you with it. Don't worry.
I want to see.
So we have an evidence of whatever we do. So when we did that, we had a meeting, stakeholder meeting, about these 2 lecturers. So university now replaced these 2 lecturers. The other one is Madam Dr. Sain and also Remy Colley, taking these 2 dismissed lecturers, their courses as well. But we later realized that the other lecturer, perhaps, he's also taking another course, coincide with his lecture, and said he cannot, continue with Thursday classes. Therefore, the students must change the shift, and which is going to jeopardize their entire calendar or timetable. You understand? So we now went back to the management to say, the day for this lecture will hold, no matter what, because when it changes, it's going to affect the students. And therefore, the assessment or anything that will come by these new lecturers will have to hold, because psychologically, the students are transitioning from one lecturer to another. And in fact, some did, assessment with the previous lecturers as well, so that the students can be at the liberty to have an intense learning or a normal process about teaching and learning with the students. And even with the examination, we made it categorically clear that we are not going to shift these 2 courses to another semester, because some of these students are in their final semester. Some, in fact, started applying for their postgraduate degree program, and some needs to be promoted in their workplace. Some have to look into other avenues in making their life better after the university. So we put all these conditions, and these conditions were respected, and therefore the only problem was the issue of the other course taken by Mr. Remy Colley. And we echoed that issue out, to the management. You understand? That this situation cannot be left untreated. We have to treat it. You understand? And so therefore, after that, because there is 2 matters at hand. The student union is fighting for their interest. The staff association is fighting for their interest. Now, on Monday, we realized that students wanted to protest. In fact, they share flyers that, concerned students. They call themselves concerned students.
Yes.
Let me remind you, in 2020, the same thing happened. The staff association, went on sit-down strike. That was the time of Usman Diasi. We went on a protest. An approval from the IGP. In fact, we were escorted within the premises of the university, because it's a public institution and it's a public space. And I was, in fact, in the midst of that protest, because then I came newly as a university student. The petition that the student union leadership presented was accepted and received by Professor Gomez, the current Minister of Higher Education. Then he was acting. So when the students proposed on Monday, myself, I engaged one of their members. Since I believe you don't tie every bull by their horns. In an organization, there are people who believe that, they can do things in their own way. In my belief, it's subjective. But if you vote for a leadership and you believe the leadership, you've entrusted them to husband your affairs, I think also you need to rally behind them at all costs, because we are not there to fight for the interests of the management. We are not there to fight for the interests of the staffs or the government. We are there to protect the interests and welfare of the students. And then they said they will go out I engaged the person. I said, well, can we dialogue so that, we know what you have? What is your demands? And to be more funny, they are asking for the reinstatement. The students, I mean. They are asking for the reinstatement of these 2 dismissed lecturers, logically, as mandated in our constitution. Several things happened before, during my regime. We had a bus crisis here. Perhaps you may know.
Yes.
We had a bus crisis here. But none of the faculty and staff association saw solidarity because they believe that is not their mandate as to their TOR. We fought our battle. The clearance issue between MOHAS and university management that they will not accept any beneficiary with just a letter because university, MOHAS or University of the Gambia, millions of dollars. We fought our battle and nobody saw solidarity for us. Nobody. Records are there to speak for themselves. And now, this is a battle between the governing council that took the decision and the UTG Staff Association believe that the dismissal is unjust. And for the records, as a sitting member at the governing council, I do not partake in the discussion of staff matters. I do not. I am asked to excuse for the records. And these students are demanding for the reinstatement. I now question myself, do we know what we want? Or do we know what we are doing as a student government? You are demanding for the reinstatement of lecturers of whom you do not give their appointment. You do not have right to fire, hire, appoint, promote. But yet you are requesting the university to reinstate those people. I said to myself, we need to have a common agenda. What are we fighting for? And currently, you cannot fight for a case that is already at the court. I am not a legal-minded person and I am not abreast with the law. But all I know is, if the matter is before the court, and in fact the matter is discussed, even the student union, when the judicial tribunal passed an ex parte motion on issues, that particular issue is never discussed unless and until the judicial tribunal make their rulings. And now, the court did not make a ruling on the matter, and now you are asking for the reinstatement of them. Will that not be a contempt of court? Guide me if I am wrong.
We're listening. I will get to you.
You understand? So on that matter, we told them that what you should be fighting for is beyond all of us. Do you think if I believe that it is a mandate to bring those lecturers back? Of course we know they are very productive to the teaching and learning of students within the university. But is that my mandate constitutionally as the union president? And the constitution that governs every university student, so long you have your admission letter, you fall part of that union. Because every university student is paying a dues that is going to the union for its operations. Okay? So now we told them we cannot, and I stress it out, that we cannot talk about this reinstatement as a union. That is not within my jurisdiction. It is between the governing council, where the senior management is part of, and the UTG Staff Association to deal with it. But, because we were called on a stakeholder engagement, the staff association, the union, the senior government officials, to have a stakeholder engagement. And I told them categorically clear that if the staff association go on a sit-down strike, that is the past Monday, we will also do the needful. The following day, we'll have a press conference and we slate our day for the protest. And it is going to be a very devastating protest.
Was that the meeting with the vice president?
And I made that clear to the vice president. He is listening to me. And any senior government officials, I am on records. And that is the Tuesday yesterday, we had our press conference, which means during the meeting, the stakeholder meeting.
You had 2 engagements with the Vice
Yes.
President. What was the first one about?
The first one was about the strike, the sit-down strike, and their demands.
And what time did they call you? At what
You mean
date? The date?
the other one was 28. I think on Tuesday and Thursday. No.
Okay, let's say they called you
on 2 several occasions. Okay, and therefore we answered. We had a discussion on the first meeting. During the first meeting, we discussed and we put our position down about the resolutions that we agreed with the stakeholders as well. So the staff association said there are matters that they cannot discuss before the students, that we have to recuse the meeting. Okay?
with the Vice President.
With the Vice President. But one thing that I must say for sure, there are any matter that will be discussed indoors. Know that as the union president, I am copied, and that is what happened. I am copied with what was discussed in that, closed door meeting, I will call it, that, the student union. And whatever the case may be, as the representative of student at the governing council, whether I partake in any discussion on staff matters or not, I am always served with my document.
Okay, so during that meeting, you pass resolutions.
Yeah. So,
can you put your phone on silence? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. You pass resolutions.
Yeah.
What were these resolutions that you've passed after the meeting with the
I want this to be clear. I want to follow actually to know.
Yeah.
Is it by constitutional mandate that you should not, as a sitting governing member, that when it comes to staff matter, you, by constitution, cannot be within that, or is a matter of moral or whatever? I don't
Exactly. So I've looked into the governing council functions, and then I've not seen this. And this is what, in fact, I put it to before the Vice President. But what he told me was around the world and customarily, even my Vice President at the Senate, when they are to approve grades, they will ask him to, excuse because of, the sensitivity of, the grade matters as well. But however, that is not a clear justification to say...
So meaning it is not something that you have found out as far as the Constitution is concerned. No. What you say is the alpha and the omega.
I already confirmed that it is not constitutionally justifiable. Okay. But because of...
I guess it's a norm.
Yeah, it's a norm.
It's a norm.
It's not...
we will get
depends on the situation.
So, but your first meeting...
conflict of constitution and morality sometimes will happen.
We'll get to that. Your first meeting with the Vice President, you passed resolutions.
Yeah.
And what were these resolutions?
First, it is for the replacement of these lecturers and also the mode of assessment as well, because one of the lecturer is also is supervising students on research that let them provide as soon as possible to confirm how many students are doing research with this particular lecturer, so that, the HOD, the head of departments, and also the dean can identify and see how best they can have someone, to be supervising all these things as well. So,
was this fulfilled?
Yes.
No.
75% of our resolution was fulfilled.
For the project supervision was not fulfilled.
That is why I said 75%.
Yeah, you said yes. So
no,
that was not fulfilled.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Yes. So, and then they told us that, we will be called. You understand? And the following day, we are called, and I told them, in fact, I am not going. My Vice President can attest to it.
Who called and you said you are not going?
The
Vice President?
No, I did not say to the Vice President that I am not going. I received a message from the protocol officer that you are needed at the State House. So when he called and I do not receive, he reached out to my Vice President. You understand? And the Vice President then sent the message in the page that we are needed for another engagement with the staff association and the stakeholders, responsible. So I told him that for me alone, I already put my position, because the only reason why we could not go on a protest is because the vice president said, now your resolutions, we will ensure that the university worked on it in our first meeting. Suspend your protest. We are not asking you to stop, but we are asking you to suspend until, if these resolutions are not met, then, because already the letter is at the IGP for the protest. You understand? So in that regard, we now, we went back to the meeting again to tell them that, okay, all our resolutions, 75% of it is met. The research is still going to be worked on by the HOD and also the dean, and also the lecturer whose lecture collide with the other course, will have to do, because we later realized that, we got our intel that this lecturer is also a staff, not so. And therefore, perhaps it could be influenced by the staff association not to hold the classes. I am not accusing, but I am assuming. You understand? Because according to the students, that, he was later seen conducting classes, for another course. You understand? So we put it to the house during the meeting that this is what happened, and I think it is a breach of agreement as a resolution that we put we put for this house to agree and respect, because we are the relevant stakeholders in this matter.
So after the meeting with the vice president, 75% of your demands were met, according to you. But there were demands that were not met. So you had a second meeting with him. That was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
What was that meeting about?
So the meeting was to finalize everything, because they told us that they will get back to us, on this dialogue. So myself, I was not in a position to go. I made it clear, and my vice president can confirm that, because I was, to a certain point, I felt like, okay, are we respected as student government? Are we respected as university students? Because if the highest republic can sit with relevant stakeholders and discuss on matters, I think that matter should be treated with urgency, because any delay is causing a great ramification onto the students. And there comes my responsibility.
So you didn't attend the meeting, the yesterday meeting?
I attended. I was able to be convinced by my executive that, if the highest courtesy to the position.
Okay, what was the meeting about?
The meeting is about the agenda of, the UTG Staff Association strike, for them to agree and, revoke the strike and go back to work. And also there are demands that they are requesting for reinstatement. Then, there can be court decision as well. But I think the Justice Minister was there, to put it to the Staff Association.
And they agreed.
So what happened here now? Because as I am speaking, I think you can see me peeping my phone.
Yeah.
There is another flyer again from the staff associations that
they are going ahead with their strike.
After agreeing that they will review the disciplinary committee decision on the dismissal of these two lecturers, but on that they will have to go back to work. That is why in our press conference yesterday, we made it earlier. And before we, in fact, made our press release, it was confirmed and we discussed that the staff association must first release, and then, we can back our evidence on that. So we later had to inform the students that, tomorrow, all academic and administrative services will resume.
That's today.
And that was today.
And that is today.
That was today.
And
that didn't happen because I saw a lot of students who put on their statements.
Wednesday.
Yes.
The press conference happened Tuesday.
Yeah.
So Tuesday. So Wednesday it was supposed to resume.
As I was at Latrikunda, I got a call from my my council member that the staff association are calling on, whether a congress or another meeting again on the decision that was agreed by the stakeholders, which the staff association is a member.
So now that means they are going ahead with their strike again. I just want us to go back. We've listened to you.
I cannot anticipate.
Okay, all right, no problem. So, Sai, at the start of the strike, as a student union, do you think it's a failure to not even issue a statement for 3 days after 2 lecturers are sacked and students are affected?
Okay, if we are to release a statement, what is our position in that statement? What would the statement be?
But if you are saying that,
what would the statement be?
But if you are saying that, then you don't know your responsibility.
No.
If lecturers are sacked, that means students are affected.
Sure.
Isn't it? Sure. So yes, exactly.
It is implicit or explicit?
Yes.
Welfare is implicit or explicit?
Exactly.
Yes.
So that means at least maybe you can say after 1 day you are able to release, but after 3 days, your executive, we are not able to even issue a statement. That is a failure, right?
Okay. Partially, I will agree with you. But what I wanted to put through, I am not here to defend myself, and I'm not here to defend my executive council. Posterity will judge us for our actions. You know, to err is to human. And what I can tell you for free, because at that time as executive council, we believe that, you know, what is our position? What is our demand? It's for lecture to continue. You understand? And we were fighting for that, writing to the administration responsible for those affairs as well. And those lecturers identified to take those courses were confirmed by the head of department and the dean that in fact they started, you know, the lectures.
That was after the intervention of Ecomansa.
No, the Ecomansa and University Student Union.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The email address
sent will be listed. The Ecomansa wrote to the management and copied you.
Yes.
Then you reacted. That's what happened.
They copied us.
Yes, they copied you.
You know,
and you also wrote a letter to compliment their letter, isn't it?
Mandingkol kamemfo.
Yeah.
Samay jonko matara sinandin.
Yeah, but after 3 days, Allah jonko man sinan.
No.
So it was 3 days.
No.
As a student union.
No.
A serious student union, at least you should have issued a statement.
Yes.
Exactly.
Thank you.
As the umbrella.
I respect that. I respect that. And I think this is where many students will not understand.
And they got angry.
You know, if you think we are not doing anything, I want to tell the audience and the Gambian people and the university students that whether publicly or behind closed door, what the union is doing. You know, when the issue of, you know, tuition fee increment, most of the students are not fully aware of this because it happens in the governing council. I wrote my position paper. I made an assessment to the students. How many students can pay for their own? The entire governing council agreed that tuition fee from 2015 up to date has not been increased. No, I'm just coming.
That is why you are elected.
Thank you.
That is why you are elected. And
yes.
that is your responsibility.
Very well.
So the thing is, okay, the students wanted to protest. You'll have to protest like Kelano.
Yes.
And you stop them, right? Because it is what you feel. Wale mnindiko. Atolma mandate soro. Atolla luwa kono. Alter lectural murundi no la ila do ko wo manke atolla keloti wo staff association na keloti.
Yes.
But do you believe ko mosi protest no le hanatara a mantra atolla luwa kono ite man la fi minna pour way mu. Do you agree with that?
Eka protest munkula kama.
Yeah, but it's a protest no, for example. It's based on interest.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
For example, I have my lecturers already nyilien sambale fo taming kanaba. Exam le kanasi. Ye bay. Don't you think ko they have the right to protest ka fo kon lafta na lectural ye murunang? And lung na after student will be commented probably they could have rescinded their decision pour ni lectural ye murundinang. Court mole ka mo samba court. Isi mo samba no court le. Yeta ye case ni withdraw.
Yes.
That is possible, isn't it?
Of course.
So that means also
before the protest.
And you are surprised that...
Can we dialogue?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, the guy told me that, he told me that, I am dressing up. I will get back to you. I will get back to you on Monday. He went on a protest with these people.
Yeah, but
it's a free world.
And he is the leader of the concerned students, right?
I will not allege him. They are not identified groups.
Exactly. Why would you single out that person? He must have influence to speak to him to be able to talk to the other people.
Okay, do they have the intention that they want to stop them from the protest?
No.
But this is the thing. I have listened to you, Kelly.
Protest is part of our process in this matter. Unless if you understand the entire issue.
Before you come.
And we released a press conference yesterday. And if you listen to our press conference very well, we said if the strike continues on Friday, this coming Friday.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I have all your demands because I know you people also have demands. But look, it seems like you contradicted yourself. You said you should follow the laws in the university.
Sure.
And you went to the vice president. The union.
Yes.
You went to the vice president. That is not part of your laws. The vice president told you to excuse yourself from a meeting.
No, not the vice president. It is a member of staff association.
Member of staff. So whoever the person is.
Yeah.
You were asked to excuse yourself.
What he said was...
but that's what I heard.
No, in fact, I think you are right, Bob.
Yeah.
What he said was,
what I heard.
the staff association say they cannot discuss certain matters before students. So when the vice president says,
exactly.
he should excuse.
Maybe it was a mistake.
So the vice president, what role has he? Is he an authority as far as the university is concerned?
No.
That was the
so now,
president is the chancellor.
My point there is
the chancellor.
Not point no minti wala minti ko.
Yeah.
Ite nyildol balle because luwa mansongal. The same luwa mi along wala be kanta kan ye fintin and luwa ba for ye finti. Why didn't you insist as head of the students, as the leader of the students, to insist to say ko ni meeting no de kelam koma, I want to know everything that is happening in this meeting.
Thank you so much. In the first meeting, we are asked to...
No, I'm asked, I said this particular meeting.
You have to give me basis for me to have the luxury to answer your question judiciously.
Go ahead.
So it happens in the first meeting. But when they requested for it in the second meeting, I said, it's better to live with my entire council members than to excuse you again.
But the question is, why will you accept it in the first meeting?
No. The issue is, at this point in time, Buba, it is not a matter of succumbing to what the vice
people are compromised.
On what?
That you people are dancing to the tune of the management of the university and the authorities from the government.
And who is the management?
The management is the vice chancellor and the registrar and whoever is there.
Maybe the organogram, if I have to break it down to you.
You guys have a new registrar already. Acting registrar.
Acting registrar.
And this Friday,
is it true? Because they accuse you of this. They accuse you of this.
Yeah, there were many accusations.
Yes. But from what you've said, it seems like the students were right. You did not stand for them.
No. The students that we are standing by, are those students that are informed. You look at our constitution, rights and responsibilities of members, is to see the law.
You need to forget about that. Look, people protested. Look. People protested for Barrow to step down for 3 years. It was not in the constitution, but it is their right to protest, and they were given permit.
Sure,
it was an agreement. They were given permit.
They were given permit
to.
Thank you.
But you don't even need permit to protest inside a university. What permit do you need?
Well, I cannot answer that. A lawyer can answer that. I am not disputing that. But what I'm saying is, I am not in that position to answer that question to say whether it is justifiable.
I kind of disagree with that because the university is a public place. So if you have a law, which of course I always say I disagree with the law. What is a law? That says when you're doing any gathering on a public place, you need a permit.
It's not any gathering with certain criteria. Loudspeaker and all that. So this is not
now going to public or
they are using what is it that they are
public address system. I think that these people did not have them. All they have were papers,
pen and paper. Pen and paper.
Okay, fine.
No weapons.
For me, even having to ask for permit or whatever, man, it boils my skin. But see, this is the thing. This is the thing. I think the first place that you guys aired, I thought. Let me ask: were you guys notified that these people were going to be dismissed? The student union.
He was asked out of that meeting. He was asked out of that meeting in the first place.
That's what I want. Even if the decision is made, a letter is written.
Yeah, he said they always copy.
They should have been copied. They should have been in the know to know that these people were dismissed.
No.
Even before the students or whatever know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So did that happen?
We were not copied as a union.
Okay, so this is where the first problem arises by the university.
And we even raised that flag to tell the university management that whatever happens within the university, that is why you have the president and the vice president representing the student body in the Senate and at the governing council.
Okay, that much I understand. And the reason why I asked the question, because that should have been done, right?
Yes.
And you guys should have been able to filter it out, then it wouldn't come out as a surprise.
Yeah.
Like you've explained here, one was on his way going to lectures, he received a letter. So possibly you guys, the student union, you also had it from, everywhere else as
in fact it came through
other students.
Normally, the management will notify student union and get a hadu sangam. But when you appoint that lecturer, inform the student union.
Why bring them back here? A letter should have gone.
Appointment at dismissal is different. Because the appointment more young they know. Dismissal you are already engaged. And fee.
I mean,
let me just say this.
But one thing that I can say for sure.
Let me just say this before you
Anything
continue.
that has to do with staff matters, I must clear that to the public. That as the union president, I am not abreast with it. I do not partake in the discussion.
You had said that. I understand that. But my question is, after a letter was written, because like you said, you don't sit when it is discussed. But afterwards you receive your file or you are informed.
I'm giving my file.
Exactly. Which is even counterproductive because you're not there when they talk about it, but after you know everything that is being talked about.
Autocratic.
You know everything that is being talked about. So I'm saying because this affects staff and you guys oversee the welfare of staff. When it students in all aspects. So dismissing a teacher affects teaching and learning.
Very well.
Right? And that falls under your purview. So I am saying a letter was written, respective body were copied. As the student union, did you guys receive a letter to inform the student union that this particular lecturer and these lecturers have been dismissed from the services of the university? No. Which you said no, you just had it from everywhere else.
In fact,
because
I'll give you time.
Because the reason why I said that should have given you guys the opportunity from that 15, right, to be able to engage the body and say, okay, you have dismissed. I mean, that is
because we are relevant.
That is not our, but. Now, where is the replacement? Because teaching and learning must continue.
Yes.
Your decision to dismiss should not affect our classes, our lectures, or whatever we're engaged in.
Sure.
And from that moment, you be on top of things. Then it wouldn't have taken the Fulamansa, it wouldn't have taken the Ecomansa to write on the 17th, to the management and copy you. Right, and then it had to take you on the 18th to write to the management, like amplifying the voice of Ecomansa. Which is telling me you guys agreed with Ecomansa that a decision has been taken which is affecting teaching and learning, and that should not be compromised at any level. And that lapse happened, right? Now again, you were telling me they wanted to protest, right? And you guys say, okay, hold on to the protest. Let's dialogue. Which is okay in every setting or whatever. You want to give peace a chance. You dialogue, right? I am a believer. Sometimes you have to precipitate a crisis for change to happen.
Of course.
Exactly.
And if you
but
know me as an individual,
dialogue should be a win-win situation.
Yes.
But in this instance, the students are not winning. They did not win. If you have to, put a balance on it, that's what led to the protest.
Exactly.
If the students got what they wanted, would they protest? They would have left the issue of the lecturers that were sacked to the staff association, let them deal with it. But here, I want to reflect on the constitution he emphasized. 2 words they need to underline: interest and welfare of the students. Now, that should not be compromised at any cost.
sure.
This message is going to your leadership.
Sure.
Be it a commander, the staff association, or whatever, you there, because the students elected and put you into that leadership position.
Sure.
Your primary focus is to protect that interest and welfare,
Sure.
no matter the outcome of it. Now, excusing you from meetings and all that, you should have objected to that. Because if you are excused, then how would you fight for that interest and welfare?
Sure.
For me, that's where the lapse and the weakness of your leadership comes.
And I want to say that you are just excused from that interest because they don't want you to talk, because they copy you.
No.
They want you to know what they said, but they don't want you to talk.
That is why I cannot insinuate myself.
No, but that is exactly what is happening.
What I'm putting here is the welfare of interest is always discussed before me as the union president, because we have several agendas when it comes to the meeting of governing council. And when they reach to the staff on promotion, on disciplinary action, or on appointments or other activities as well, the union president by the chairman will ask Mr. President, kindly excuse for us to discuss staff matters in such that way. But however, I am not disputing the fact that as far as I'm a sitting member, that everything should be discussed before me. Because when you talk about confidentiality of matters as well, I have my files. You understand? Exactly.
Exactly.
And this is what I even put.
It will
before
come back
the
to you.
stakeholders. This is what I even put before the stakeholders.
Yes.
When they ask
But
me,
information will finally.
and when they asked me, the staff said I should leave for them to discuss on this matter. I told them categorically clear that I'm a sitting member at the governing council.
Exactly.
Whether you know it or not, your promotion, how much you are graded, your external assessors, I have all my files. It's with me. You understand? Unless and until maybe my house is
maybe more after you will come back, you'll answer their questions, okay? So